All right, good evening. It is Tuesday, December 30th. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I'll call this meeting for the Board of Selectmen to order. If you all rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of 12/16/2025 and the executive session minutes of 12/16/2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. I will entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant number 13, $350,789.12. School warrant number 1055 for $129,850.77. General fund warrant number 1056 for $217,717. And fire and highway warrant 1057 for $442,587.50.
So moved.
Discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have a spending request. We don't have fire or highway here. Okay. We have a spending request for the fire department, $350, a replacement of the door latch for engine 1. $4,500 to inspect and rebuild several discharge valves and perform the annual preventative maintenance on Rescue 1. And it says when Rescue 1's batteries shorted out, it had to be removed from the building due to the hazard. The tank and pump was drained, but the residual water caused damage in the freezing conditions. Annual PM has not been performed on this vehicle this year. Okay. And, all right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve those fire department spending requests.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion.
Well, at some point, and I know those guys are trying to get their bearings with some of the changes, but at some point, I'm assuming that there's preventive maintenance records and schedules and whatnot. I probably would love the opportunity to kind of take a look at that.
All right, well, I think that's one of the things that we're gonna be lining up with everybody going forward is maintenance schedules, and part of that is in line with what we've been talking about with the capital improvement accounts. So.
I'm sorry, is that truck the one that was sent out of state to get repaired?
Wasn't that the tower? They got sent?
Which repair?
This past year.
Before I was here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't
Was
I don't
that
know.
the tower? I'm just wondering why the maintenance wasn't done.
Well, sounds like we'll find out.
All right, any more discussion? Ralph? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have a spending request for the highway department. We have one for repairs on the rear end of the 2006 International for $5,167.26. And that's that one. And then we have the rear leaf springs for $2,500. I'm assuming that that's the same truck?
No, we've had 3 trucks out.
Do you know which truck this is? Because it doesn't say.
It doesn't say which truck.
Which setting?
The rear leaf spring.
The one at Ballard Diesel?
Yeah.
That might be the 05. The one that went to Harvey Services, let me check what year.
Okay.
Public Services was, says it was.
2004.
06.
Was the 06?
That's what this says. Harvey Services 2006 International.
Is that what Kim wrote?
I don't know, I wrote it. It's
Yeah.
5,000.
Harvey Services said it was the 04.
Oh.
And that spending request for Harvey Services, the invoice came in and is less than what the spending request was for, so that's
That's nice.
good.
Yeah. Less is always better, right?
Yeah.
Why times 2? Why is it times 2? It's 2583 times 2 for repairs on the rear
It
end.
was the real seals.
Okay.
Each side?
Yep.
Okay. I'm guessing.
I'm not Randy. That's how Randy described it.
All right. Any more discussion?
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Right.
Aye. All right, old business. So we're gonna have a discussion about the little park because we think that there's a lot of variables that go along with that little park dating back years now. And the board, as well as other people involved, could have handled it a lot differently and a lot better. So we're gonna relook at some of that. And to that end, I'm gonna give the floor to Mr. Gilman.
All right, so I've got a statement, and I apologize now. It's a bit lengthy.
Of course it is.
But I do believe it's worth the time. I believe that most folks can agree that there has been too much division in our little town. These divisions at times seem to dictate how many of us feel about the efforts of those working their own way to make North Brookfield a better place to live. And unfortunately, that has taken a heavy toll. We have lost too many volunteers who have made an effort to contribute. I ran my campaign for this seat based on that belief, and in the past couple of weeks I've come to the conclusion that I have unfortunately missed an opportunity to demonstrate that belief. I've also come to realize this is about more than a memorial table. Two men who I have long admired for their contributions and commitment to this town, as well as having helped shape my own approach to town politics, are feeling unappreciated and disrespected. This is regrettable, to say the least, and I'd like to start the process of correcting that tonight. And in order to do so, I believe it's helpful to understand how we got here. It was apparent early on in my term that the little park, as most folks I talk to refer to it, lacked proper stewardship. As most things in town fall to the Board of Selectmen when there isn't a functioning oversight body, it was our responsibility to ensure the stewardship was provided. However, and it is my understanding that this board, strongly believe the Board of Selectmen is not the proper body to oversee a town park. There are many other responsibilities that have serious repercussions for the town when not performed properly. It is not that the park isn't important, but that it is too easy for this type of oversight to get lost in the never-ending string of crises that come before this board. I do understand that previous boards and/or board members may disagree with that. Now, we, the board, were fortunate that basic maintenance in the park, mowing and trimming, were being done by a concerned citizen. That citizen understood that one of the folks who were doing the work previously, Mr. John Tripp, was having health issues, and rather than let it fall into disrepair, he quietly took on these tasks without much fanfare. As this person, Mr. Brandon Avery, was also the chair of the Parks and Recreation Committee, it seemed an obvious choice to place the little park under the purview of said committee. The Park and Rec Committee has worked in a very productive way with the Board of Selectmen. The communication has been stellar. This communication helps the Board of Selectmen facilitate town resources to help improve infrastructure in our parks with very little funding from the town. Many of these improvements have been prioritized towards the children of our town, who in some folks' opinion, including mine, have been overlooked for some time now. It must be understood that Mr. Avery, as well as the rest of the committee, were not too eager to take on this responsibility. This reservation was not the result of any additional work to the committee, as it was already being performed, but from expectations of others without the proper support consisting of volunteer hours and funding to meet those expectations. Eventually, the committee opted to take the little park, and unfortunately, not long after, the criticism from some vocal citizens shifted from the Board of Selectmen to the Parks and Rec Committee. We, as with many small towns, have a serious shortage of volunteers and folks interested in getting involved. We all know this. It's not easy. It's a sacrifice to be involved. You sacrifice your time and energy as well as the sacrifices made by your families by not having you around. Imagine committing to be involved, making these sacrifices, and hearing nothing but complaints. I do understand that there are a very few vocal folks who seem to make the most noise, but when it's all you hear, it's demoralizing. In regards to the little table, Mr. Avery expressed his concern to me about the table being changed to the larger table last summer. The concerns he expressed at the time were about a tripping hazard from the chain as well as limiting access to the larger handicap accessible table. I agreed with his concern and that the table should be disconnected and stored until a more permanent solution could be devised. At the time, not understanding what the table represented, I mentioned that it would be a great addition to the playground, as it lacks proper seating for the little ones. Months later, the Board of Selectmen received John's letter. Looking back, it's clear to me that some of the actions taken by the parties involved could have, should have been made differently. I will speak to my thoughts on these steps, not to assign fault or cast judgment, but to help work through this issue. Mr. Avery and Parks and Rec could have investigated the donation of the table to better understand the purpose of the donation and thoughts of the donor in regards to the issue and possible alternative solutions. As many folks have pointed out, Mr. Tripp and Mr. Avery had a long-standing relationship and knew each other quite well. Mr. Tripp could have better communicated his concerns. His first effort to communicate should have been directed to Mr. Avery and Parks and Rec. It was public knowledge that the little park was Parks and Rec's responsibility. Again, the two had a long-standing relationship. If that didn't satisfy Mr. Tripp, it would have then been proper to approach the Board of Selectmen. However, approaching the board by insulting the board members as well as what could be considered as an accusation of our new administrative assistant not doing her job was unproductive and certainly didn't start the conversation on a positive tone. I do understand that Mr. Tripp was hurt and upset about the situation, and rightfully so. But it didn't help. And finally, I believe most importantly, the Board of Selectmen could have handled the situation much better. We could have asked more questions. Questions as to the thoughts of residents and donors. Questions as to Mr. Tripp's intention when the park was constructed, as well as how those intentions were communicated to donors and family members of those memorialized. It has become apparent that these folks feel the park is a memorial park and should be treated as such. The removal of the table was taken as a sign of possible future desecration of the memory of a lost family member or a valued community member. The board did not take this
did not understand this, and our response did not take that into consideration. Should we have understood this? Yes. Should the establishment of the park, bear with me, please. Should the establishment of the park been done so in a way that made that intention clear? Yes. The park was not officially named or classified as a memorial park and did not have a budget to support what is expected from such. Donations are not a sustainable or a reliable revenue source when maintaining a town property of this nature. So in conclusion, my suggestion to my fellow board members to consider are as follows. 1. Remove the Little Park from Parks and Rec purview and return it to the responsibility of the Board of Selectmen. 2. Establish a policy that any work or additions to the Little Park be done with the cooperation and approval of the Board of Selectmen. 3. Inquire if Mr. Tripp would like to return the table to the park with a plaque affixed to the table, thus indicating it is a memorial table. 4. If and when the table is ready to be installed, the installation follows the Board of Selectmen's Little Park Work and Additions Policy, which would include an agreement on location and method of theft deterrence. 5. The list of donors and families to be filed in the Board of Selectmen office for future reference. I know Mr. Tripp has provided this in the past and would ask him to do so again with our new administrative assistant. 6. Finally, number 6, with the understanding that the Board of Selectmen or an individual citizen is not a good long-term oversight solution, work to establish a committee to provide proper stewardship for the park as well as explore and develop the policies and funding needs for a memorial park. My hope here is to not only provide an avenue to make the understanding of what the Little Park is by all, thus allowing the stewardship and respect due, but to also attempt to keep it from becoming another thing that divides the people of North Brookfield. I don't believe that's what any of us wants our little park to memorialize. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Do you have that printed out or no?
I have it in digital format.
Could you run down those 6 things again?
Yes. Would it be appropriate for me to make a motion when I do so?
I think we need to
one-
discuss some more.
Yeah, do
Okay.
one at a
Okay.
time. Yeah, do one at a time.
Remove the Little Park from Parks and Rec's purview and return it to the responsibility of the Board of Selectmen.
Can we talk about them one at a time, or?
Yeah, we'll do one at a time.
Okay.
So,
I
I'll
have
entertain a
couple
motion.
comments.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the first.
Some of
Second.
All right, discussion.
Okay. I feel that the Parks and Rec committee does a real good job. And I think that I don't want that, this motion is a slight in any way to the Parks and Rec. I think that maintaining parks and buildings and grounds should be a paid position somehow. Since we're working on, budgeting season is coming up, I think it needs to be handled by the town rather than committee and volunteers. The committee is doing a phenomenal job of building up activities in the common. You had the bands this summer, which was really well done, and other activities that go on in town, and using the parks. And I think that is a better use of volunteers. It's really hard. There's only 2 of you left, I think. So it's really hard. So I don't want it to be a reflection on the efforts of the Parks and Rec department, but I do realize that removing it from the purview of Parks and Rec makes sense, but we need to find a way that we take care of our property.
I don't really think it would hurt one way or the other if it stayed with Parks and Rec or if it went to another committee. And the reason being is if we were to define the way that the park is supposed to be taken care of, being, you know, if we define it as a memorial park, then Parks and Rec or the committee that would be new to it would be responsible for maintaining it according to what it's designed to be. So I really don't have an opinion one way or the other. But what I'd like to do is I'll open the floor up to people that would want to comment on it. Well, slow down, slow down.
I just want to know,
And,
you open the floor?
Yeah. And then I'll lean my vote that way, I suppose. So, all right, go ahead, raise hands. All right, Tara.
When we did the Parks and Rec budget, I don't think it was last year, I think it was the year before. I had, and Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were on Parks and Rec at the time. I had suggested taking part of that budget to pay someone to mow and weed whack and the common, and you can add in the little park. I know I don't know how long it takes Brandon to do it, but, you know, I think having a paid employee to be responsible for it is a good idea.
The problem with that was, and we went through that process, reviewed that process, was that there absolutely wasn't enough money in the budget to cover them. Each week, for the common to be properly mowed and weed whacked, you've got 2 to 2.5 hours every week just for the common. Yeah.
I think it totaled like 8 hours to do everything. And I think we calculated it using the cemetery's paid employee who does your maintenance. I can't remember what the dollar figures came up to, but it did take funds away from improving, but
Nancy?
So, there's not too many of us left on Parks and Rec at this point. I'm gonna be 67 years old in July. I am not mowing the common. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not. So, the way that volunteers are treated in this town causes people to not want to step up and volunteer. I volunteer, I do the best that I can for this town because I like to see people be happy and enjoy our parks and you know, the common and stuff like that. But there's only so much that this retired lady is going to do. This retired lady is not going to mow the lawns. The way that Brandon was treated by certain people in town, I think caused him to just say enough is enough. And we've had other people do the same. Enough is enough. They don't want to have, you know, people request their emails back and forth looking for nefarious intent. They don't want to spend their own personal time having to defend themselves when they're only trying to do what's right. If it's 2.5 hours to mow the lawn at the common, this is time that they spend away from their families, and the thanks that they get being attacked makes it not worth makes it not worth it. I think removing the little park from parks to me makes sense, because at this point, I think a lot of the drama started when we took over that park, and I am not into drama. I am into providing this town with a nice opportunity for kids to hang out on a playground, or to sit on park benches and talk, maybe paint some rocks, maybe go to a concert, maybe go to a movie, maybe have a bonfire, all the wonderful things that we should be doing. I don't have time for having people attack me or anybody else on any committee that I serve on, because they're trying to do the right thing. So my feeling is, if other people in town feel that the little park is not being maintained to their specifications, then they should take it over. Then they should be the ones to figure out how to maintain it. You know, it's now just Andrew and I to maintain the common and the town forest park. It's gonna be a lot for two people. I don't know what to say. Nobody's stepping up. Why? People say to me, I don't know why you keep volunteering and keep standing in the pocket. And I'm like, I don't know. Why not? Because some little kid is having a great time on the common. Because there's these little old ladies who are, rocking it out on the common and a concert and stuff like that. That's why we do it. I don't do it to be attacked. I don't do it to have my integrity questioned. And at a certain point, you just get sick of it. You just get sick and tired of it, and you just say, no more, no more. So, kind of in closing, do I think it's okay to take the little park away from Parks and Rec? Yeah, because Brandon was mowing it anyway, and that's why we took it over. There's no Brandon now, because he resigned.
Well, we haven't accepted it.
I'm sorry, okay, well, I'm sorry. But at this point, we're running out of resources to do the work. I would rather focus on what happens on the common. I don't want this to get so big that it's just a no-win situation. I don't want to leave Parks and Rec. I believe in it. Like crazy, I believe in it. I love the fact that I can take my grandkids up there. I love that I can, go up there with a chair and listen to a concert. I love that I can just go up there. So I don't want to have to be the next person who says this really isn't worth it, because it just isn't working for us, for me. So anyway, thank you.
Great. Anybody else? John?
So this, number one, was to take the little park out of Parks and Rec,
Correct.
because they don't want to, and they don't want to take care of it.
That wasn't my intention.
No, but they, as Nancy said, it was hard for them to accept doing it, and they can't take care of it, the two of them.
The intention is regardless of how many people there are in Parks and Rec.
Right.
Right, is that, and we knew this going in, that there are different folks, there are different expectations of what happens over at the little park. And there are different ways that people were looking at it. And I firmly believe that part of what needs to happen is we need to come to grips and come to terms of what it is. If it's a memorial park, then we just need to name it a memorial park, and we need to treat it as such. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I do know that if you go on the Central Mass Rail Trail, there are benches alongside the rail trail that families have, donated benches and had names on them. And those benches, the rail trail, the Massachusetts Greenways, put those benches where they need to be. And, that's a different model than how you and a lot of folks look at the little park. It's more than just benches that family have bought, and we're gonna put this one here, we're gonna put this one here. There's some sacredness to the layout of that park in a lot of people's minds. We didn't know that going in. And again, should we have maybe? Yeah. Parks and Rec had no idea of that, and I think we need to go through that process. I think that part of building that park and the end of building that park should have added that extra step and say, okay, look, what is this? This is the North Brookfield Memorial Park, and as such, what does it take? What is what's required? Does it require funding? Because I commend you for going out and getting the donors and raising the funds to take care of it. But it's not sustainable forever. And if it's a North Brookfield Memorial Park, then we just treat it as such. And there should be a line item on the budget. And that's another piece of this that I feel a bit unfair to Parks and Rec, is that they already had a preset budget, and that budget is not enormous by any stretch of the means.
1/3 of the budget goes to paying the electricity at the common.
When you look at that, I personally think that that money should be spent at the common, should be spent for the kids. And, I'd prefer not to be kind of pulling out of that fund to, I guess, maintain a memorial park. Needs its own thing. It needs to be its own thing. And I guess as far as my opinion is, in order for us to go through that process, it should just come back under us. I don't think that's a good long-term solution, but for now, let Parks and Rec do what they're doing. Keep them focused on what they're doing well. And, let's clean this up. Let's make it what it is, what it should be, and then go from there. Then we decide. Now,
All right.
yeah.
Anybody else?
I'll forego the other comments until later on, as you guys vote the other 7 or 8 different.
Jim?
I'd offer that in the past, on that little corner park, to maintain it, we actually requested volunteers of landscape companies in return for advertising consideration to maintain the corner with flowers and, pardon me, I'm losing my voice. And that's another option you might have that could be done as far as maintenance goes. I am in agreement that it should be under the Board of Selectmen, and just in the nature of the park as a memorial park. It does have a special place. And it should be considered a little bit over and above the other parks in town, in the fact that it's a memorial park. It's designed to be a memorial to our citizens and to those who helped do it. I don't have a weigh in on the common and things of that nature. Common has always been a trouble spot for the selectmen, but I do feel that the little park should go into the selectmen, and there's several options there that you still have for maintenance and that sort of thing. So.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor of
Taking
taking
it?
away from, okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm in favor, yes, aye.
All right. Unanimous.
2, establish a policy that any work in additions to the little park be done with the cooperation and approval of the Board of Selectmen.
I'll entertain a motion to accept condition 2.
So moved.
All right, discussion.
There has to be some level of control. So seems a no-brainer to me.
Ralph?
All right, nothing on that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 3, inquire if Mr. Tripp would like to return the table to the park with a plaque affixed to the table, thus indicating as a memorial table.
All right, I will entertain a motion to accept, to advance that inquiry.
So moved.
Second.
All All in favor?
Well, I have a discussion.
Oh, okay,
Question.
sorry.
Are those bulleted items, are they in a particular order or are they no order?
They're numbered.
And the reason I'm asking is, does it make sense to designate, find a way to designate that park as North Brookfield Memorial Park, for lack of a different term, and then it would make it easier for Mr. Tripp to designate? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, that piece is part of this,
Yeah.
is kind of later on.
That's why I was asking if there was a particular order.
You know, yeah, for me, there is a particular order. I want to fix this, and I want to fix this sooner rather than later. I think the policy, I think the committee, I think that, we know that that's going to take time. But this is something that we can do now. We can certainly lend the olive branch now, we can certainly inquire now, we can certainly start moving that forward, and if Mr. Tripp accepts that, then a lot of that rests in his hands to, as far as timing goes. If he's ready to do it, if it takes time to do it. So, I mean, it could take a month, I don't know, but I would just as soon start that process sooner rather than later.
Well,
I'm certainly in favor of the park being considered the North Brookfield Memorial Park. And therefore, there will be when that happens, there will be no misunderstanding about the purpose of anything in that park and its purpose. So I'm totally in favor of that. It may qualify for other things, I don't know. But I'm in favor of that 100%.
all right, so this vote is to inquire of Mr. Tripp if he wants to put the table back. So,
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Jamie, I'll let you inquire.
John, would you like to make this right?
Yes, Mindy and I would love to return the picnic table to the Memorial Park, little park right now, but the Memorial Park with a plaque affixed to it. I've ordered 2 plaques, one for the other table and one for that table so that they match, because the place that we ordered the other plaques is out of business now. So I've contacted a place in Worcester that will make me 2 plaques. I would like to put it down there as soon as possible, even without the plaque, as long as it's understood that the plaque is on the way. And I can affix it to the paver bricks with any style you want. I have some brackets for it, and I have many assorted ways to fasten it to the paver bricks so that we don't have to put the chain back. So yes, Mindy and I would like to bring it back.
Okay, excellent, thank you, Mr. Tripp.
Yep, you're welcome. And thank you.
4, and this is 4 is, I mean, I don't, honestly, in hindsight, I don't know why I put it in there, but I just kind of sequence in my own head. 4, and if and when the lift table is ready to be installed, the installation follows the Board of Selectmen Little Park Worker Additions policy, which would include agreement on location and method of theft deterrence, which is your brackets and fixing it so it doesn't walk away.
I'll do it Saturday, weather permitting, if one of you will go down there and say, put it there.
Well, I would hope it'd be more of a conversation.
What?
I would hope it'd be more of a conversation.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, with you,
Oh,
with you.
yep, whatever
No
you guys.
no dictators here.
No, whatever you guys want to do.
Okay.
So, do we need to vote on that? We kind of covered it in the last 3.
I think we did.
What do you think? We need to vote on
Vote
that?
on it so that it's done. Number 4 is
So you
accepted.
vote on it, should you
Yeah,
remove all doubt?
all right. I'll take a motion to accept, number 4.
So moved.
Can I be more specific in that motion?
Okay.
I make a motion to accept John and Mindy Tripp's donation of a little table to the Little Park.
All right, discussion? No. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5 is more of a technicality, and I think 5 is for when all of us have moved on to our next place. Is the list of donors and families to be filed in the Board of Selectmen office for future reference. And again, I know John has provided that list of donors and families in the past. I would ask, I know you have it. It'd probably be easier at this point if you could resubmit that to Mary Beth. That way we all have it. We all know if anything happens with the park, there's damage, there's something, the town knows who to reach out to and talk to. And that helps, hopefully, in an event that, well, helps that this doesn't happen again. That make sense?
All right. I'll entertain a motion for number 5.
So moved.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes, sir.
I forget where I was going. Oh. I want to thank Jamie for coming up to the house. I could show him everything that we have. And like I say, I told him I had submitted that when we did it. I have copies of it, and I will make copies of anything you guys want for the little park. Donors, stuff. The only thing I don't have is anonymous donors, because a lot of people gave, and Sheila would have those if you want them. So whatever is I have at my house and you want, I'll make copies of, and you're welcome to it.
I think that there's been a lack of good recording, and I think that anything that you can supply, I think it would be good to have it recorded properly in the town hall.
What's mine is yours. Copies.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I was gonna say about that backhoe, but you
I don't have a backhoe.
you said copies, so. All right. Did we vote?
Yes.
All right.
You'd already voted that.
All right. Number 6.
And this is the more the harder one. With the understanding the Board of Selectmen or an individual citizen is not a good long-term oversight solution, work to establish a committee to provide proper stewardship for the park, as well as explore and develop policies and funding needs for a memorial park. And just to explain a little my thoughts on this a little bit is that, I think that there is a proper process that should happen in town, where, if it's a town property, or if it's perceived to be a town event, that, the doors open and allow folks from town to be involved, to give their opinion, to, give their expertise, to contribute, and that whatever results of that give credibility, right, to the end result. There've been too many instances, in town where individuals or a small group of individuals have done something for better or worse, and that, in hindsight, the optics really aren't the best because people didn't understand the process, or maybe didn't have what they perceived to be an opportunity to participate in that process. So, I just got done earlier talking about how hard it is to get people to volunteer for committees, and I say this, and I recommend this, knowing that. But, I certainly would love an opportunity to, extend an invitation to John, as well as some of the other folks who felt very strongly about what the little park was, to hey, come in, sit down, put it together, put your thoughts together on what you think it ought to be, how it should be treated, you know, what you think it needs to be for proper stewardship, and where it goes from there, I don't know. I don't really have any, you know, I don't really have no strong opinion in it. But, you know, where it goes should be a result of some combined group effort in saying, you know, this is what it is, here's what we recommend, here's what it should take, and we move forward, we follow suit. And, you know, who knows? Maybe nobody signs up, maybe, you know, 100 people sign up, and we gotta ask them, you know, to cut the head count, but I think at least making the effort, I think is the right thing. All right.
So I'll entertain a motion to form a committee of not less than 3, but probably not more than 5, to oversee the Memorial Park, and then once we have the committee, we'll meet with them and discuss and define how that should function.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion?
Yeah, the only thing that I would add, 3 to 5 of official members. Certainly, I don't want to steer people away. It's the same with Parks and Rec. You want to be involved, you don't need a member. You can show up, you can give your opinion, you can take part.
Yeah, we're not limiting volunteers, but.
Sign proper paperwork.
Mr. Tripp?
I'd like to be the first to volunteer on that committee.
You need to establish the committee
Well, we
first.
gotta.
Okay,
finish this
you said
first.
this, so, what do you think?
Bingo, we got our first energetic volunteer.
All right. Any more discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of points.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't, did I interrupt you?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, do we see this committee getting a budget? Or is it gonna be all volunteer for supplies and equipment and all that? And that's just the first thing.
I have no preconception of, do I think it would be uncalled for the town to apply a small amount of funds to the maintaining the little park? No, I don't think that's uncalled for. What that dollar value is, I don't know.
Where's it coming from?
Well, I think that's up to for the discussion once we form the committee.
I mean, Jim mentioned, you know, some ideas as far as raising money. I mean, I love the thought of getting free money or donating. It's not easy. I understand that too, and I do think that it's a town property, and with the property, if it's a memorial park, then we have a responsibility.
Question on just the money part of it. So if it's not town money and it's donated money, does that donated money go into the town coffers to be distributed, or does there have to be like a nonprofit that needs to be set up to accept the donations and distribute the money?
So the way I think we do it right now is it would either go into the general fund if it's a
Okay.
donation to the town,
Okay.
or we'd probably have to have a Friends account like we have with some of the other
Friends of mine.
committees.
Yeah.
So,
Friends are
and then it
hard.
would be like a gift account that they
Yeah.
could just draw on.
Friends are hard just because nobody wants to volunteer, so it's hard to
Mhm.
have like the committee that works on it and then the friends, just from experience and what I've seen.
So if ABC Landscaping Company says I'm going to volunteer my equipment and labor to help maintain the park, in return I get a sign, how does that all work?
Well, in the past,
How do we-
that's exactly how it worked. They say, we'll maintain this for a period of 6 months, 8 months, whatever, in return for advertising consideration, and they were allowed to put as many as 3 signs on the property that would, you know, give their number, and they were, you know, tasteful signs. They weren't, you know, huge 4x4 signs. They were generally a smaller sign that were put in a prominent place that said, you know, landscaping provided by ABC Landscaping in return, you know, so.
I'm foreseeing, maybe I'm just being negative about the whole thing, I don't mean to be, but if they come for 3 weeks, do the job, and then they get really busy, or the weather's bad, and they run short on labor, and they're gonna take care of their own work first, their paid work first, then what?
You move on to somebody else.
We take the sign
Take
down
the sign down.
That's it.
and hope somebody else
It's
steps
their
in.
benefit that they're getting by providing that service, so if they don't provide a good service, they don't reflect well on their own business, so
Yep.
there is something to be gained there.
Good advertisement. John?
Gifts that are given on something like that, and you know it, can be put in a gift account and held there to be,
Yep.
we did it for 5.5 years. So that's where a monetary donation would go, not to the general fund, but it would be allocated to the little park, Memorial Park, for the upkeep of that. So, you don't need, and if you get the right people maintaining it through the committee, and I might be jumping ahead again, you won't need to have landscapers come in there and put signs up and whatnot. Just throwing that out there.
All right. Anything else, Ralph? Jamie? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so before we move on to the next thing,
Excuse me, did you put me in as the first volunteer? I don't know if you had to vote on it or not.
Yeah,
well, it's been our policy to have people fill out, volunteer cards. And if you promise to do that, we can vote on it tonight. I don't care. It's not like he hasn't done it before, so.
Nope.
So.
Nope.
I'll entertain
Volunteer paperwork.
I'll entertain a motion to appoint John Tripp to the newly created committee for the Memorial Park.
So moved.
Don't you have to make a motion to do the name of the Memorial Park?
Can you just wait? We'll get to it.
I'm just trying to help her.
Technicalities. All right. Was there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. I guess I'll entertain a motion to name the little town park on the corner. Memorial Park.
I would like the committee to do that. I'd like the committee
Okay.
to do that. I would like to, I don't want that to be our call. I
All
prefer
right.
that.
No, that's fine. No, that's perfect. Mr. Tripp.
Does that have to go through town meeting, or can the Board of Selectmen make that distinction once the committee has formed an opinion?
You mean the name or making it a memorial park?
Making it a memorial park, or
That's-
or naming it?
Doesn't need to go through town meeting.
No.
Selectmen can do it,
Okay.
and they can name it, because they are the business
Caretakers.
managers of the town and
That's
handle all
gonna
the
be-
business for all properties.
They can
and
present
parts of the town, so.
What they want, but we're gonna approve it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good idea to go through the committee and work with them on that.
Certainly can name the committee.
Oh, yeah. All right. Go ahead. Make a motion then.
I'd like to. You forgot where we were?
Naming the committee.
I would like to make a motion
I
to.
think I did that when I,
Yeah, you might have. To name the Oversight and Exploration Committee, the North Brookfield Memorial Park Committee.
Second.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
So we're good?
I think so.
Is that all your points?
I think
So
so.
you can have 6 more?
No. Are you good?
I believe so, yes. And thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so before this discussion started, as I said, there's been a lot of, there are a lot of things that could have been done different by the board going back for years in regards to this park. People involved with it, people involved in whatever way. But for my part, I would like to ask Mr. Tripp to accept my apology for my part in all of it.
Mindy and I will accept it, thank you.
You're accepting from Mindy. You're welcome.
She knows I'm here. She didn't want to do like last time.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right. Ralph, would you read the next thing?
The resignation letter?
Yes, sir.
Sure. To the Honorable Board of Selectmen, I have decided effective January 1st to resign my position on the North Brookfield Parks and Recreation Committee. At the time I was appointed 3 years ago, I felt I could help make our parks a better place for the community. When the committee took oversight of the common, many improvements were made along with working on the town forest park. I am extremely grateful for everyone who helped along the way. During the course of the past couple of years, it was repeatedly hinted that the committee should also take oversight of the little park, as no one else was willing to form or be on a committee for the care of the park. It was with some reluctance, great reluctance actually, we finally agreed in August of 2025. With no addition to our budget, maintenance was done, mulch was added, and obvious safety hazards were addressed. This decision has resulted in repeated attacks on our decision. This isn't my sole reason for resigning. Over the years, there have been many examples of comparing our efforts at the Common to those of towns with more resources and community involvement, diminishing what was accomplished in a small budget with no paid personnel, unlike other towns. The I touched it, I own it, and walk away, so you better keep it that way with no long-term planning attitude. The constant complaining about what has been done with little understanding of what is involved while refusing to join an open board or committee in town in general has become very depressing. At some point, it isn't worth it anymore. For me, that time has come. It has become too much. While I care very much about the welfare of our community, I also have a private life and other interests I enjoy. Thank you for your past support and the opportunity. Sincerely, Brendan Avery.
All right. I will entertain a motion to accept Brandon Avery's resignation from Parks and Rec.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yep. I'd like to make a motion to table this. And give Mr. Avery some time to reconsider based on some of the changes that we made here tonight. And I am hopeful that he reconsider. I think it's worth waiting until the next meeting to accept this.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. You want to discuss that one?
No, I don't mind tabling it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. It is tabled. Nancy?
So I do want to say, I want to thank the Board of Selectmen. In the last televised meeting, things got very heated. There was a lot of discussion. There was yelling. The Board of Selectmen stopped the meeting so that we could gain control of the meeting, so that we could move forward in a good fashion. I do appreciate the no tolerance for disruption at the meetings. I don't think that there should be any meetings in town where things get out of hand and people are yelled at and people are disrespected in any way. So I just want to say at this point that it goes a long way for those of us who serve when we feel that the Board of Selectmen has our back and that they support us and they respect us, especially when there's obvious disrespect that comes from certain people in town. Like I said before, it's difficult to serve when you feel that despite everything you do, people are looking at you and saying you could have done something differently, it's hard to keep going. So I do appreciate the select board's efforts in supporting us and making sure that that there's a no tolerance level in some of these meetings to having us be disrespected. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right. The next thing we have is a letter from East Quabbin Land Trust. Dear Select Board members, on behalf of the Board of Directors, please find enclosed a one-time contribution of $100 to the town of North Brookfield in appreciation for the town's commitment to open space conservation. The East Quabbin Land Trust works to foster the natural systems that sustain the life, health, and happiness of those living in our shared communities. Countless hours of staff and volunteer time are donated to our communities each year as we work toward this goal. The East Quabbin Land Trust's work collaborates with and enhances local and state government policies to provide access to open spaces so that everyone can reap the physical and spiritual benefits of contact with nature. This includes land open to hunting, fishing, and traffic. We provide and maintain accessible trails and continue to expand those offerings. Many educational programs each year for all ages on many different topics. Preserves farmland and makes land affordable for farmers who cannot afford to purchase land at market price. Provides micro grants to local farmers in support of their agricultural business. Facilitates landowner conservation goals through the gift of its expertise. Protects natural and cultural history. Brings federal, state, foundation, and private money into our communities. East Quabbin Land Trust preserved land offers climate resilience by preserving the mature forests that cool the air, sequester carbon, and reduce wildfire risk. Mature forests are fire resilient, unlike younger monoculture plantings, and they promote ecotourism. The volunteers and staff of East Quabbin Land Trust look forward to many years of working together in North Brookfield. Happy holidays to all. Sincerely, Cynthia Henshaw, Executive Director. I'd entertain a motion to accept the $100 donation from East Quabbin Land Trust.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Thank you, Cynthia and East Quabbin Land Trust.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. All right. Now we have public comment period. Mr. Tripp.
I want to thank the board for allowing Mindy and I to put the bench, the picnic table back. And I also will go down tomorrow and ask Tara for one of those applications to join the committee for renaming the park. And I may pick one up now that I know there's room on the Parks and Rec to join the Parks and Rec also. So I may pick one up and fill it out also. So,
All right, thank you.
yep,
And you're welcome.
thank you.
Anybody else? Public comment? Tara? Oh, go ahead.
I just want to thank Brandon. When someone new comes to town, I've been here about 4.5 years. You don't know anyone, and I think as a town, you might want to think about who you want the first people a new person meets to be. And for me, that was the fire chief. He took my wife and I all around, showed us around town. It was Jamie at a volunteer activity, and it was Brandon. And Jamie and Brandon both said, hey, you like outdoor stuff? Come do Parks and Rec with us. Come do this, come volunteer. And that enthusiasm from a few people is what makes a new person want to get involved. Because if you don't see that, if you see some of the silliness, some of the other stuff that goes on, why would you want to get involved? So, they encouraged me in Parks and Rec and Conservation Commission to be involved with those two committees, and it's been fun, fulfilling. But part of the reason I think you get so few volunteers is that there's maybe not enough people being that kind of light to encourage people to come and join. So I'm going to thank Brandon, whether he comes back to Parks and Rec or not. He is enthusiastic for the town, for the museum, for the History Museum. and he really does encourage people to get involved and take part.
All right, well, thank you for that.
That's not bad.
All right, anybody else? All right, announcements.
There's a lot.
Hmm?
There's a lot, sorry.
There's a couple. So, real estate bills have gone out in the mail. These contain the bills due in February and May. All right, let's take turns.
The town clerk's office is partnering with the animal control officer and the police department to announce our first top dog contest to help the town's kennel. Tag number 1 is up for grabs. Our town kennel needs some work. There are some issues with electrical, the roofing over the runs, the interior walls, etc. Every donation will qualify for 1 ticket entry into the raffle. Donations will be accepted from December 1st to December 31st at the town clerk's office. Quickly coming. 215 North Main Street. There is a list of needed items available on our website for kennels, 5 or more dogs. We will also raffle off kennel tag number 1. If anyone has any questions, please contact the town clerk at 508-867-0203 or townclerk@northbrookfield.net.
I will say that we have collected a whole bunch of stuff. We got $260 in cash that we just deposited today. Lots of food, lots of toys, lots of bowls, leashes. Someone donated a $25 gift card. It's turning, and actually most of the donations were from people that don't have dogs. We have 5 dog owners in the raffle.
All right.
This one of mine.
Yes, sir.
2026 town elections. The North Brookfield annual town election will be held Monday, May 4th, 2026. The last day to submit nomination papers is Monday, March 16th, 2026 at 5 p.m. The following offices are up for election. Board of Selectmen, 1 seat for a 3-year term. Board of Assessors, 1 seat for a 3-year term. Board of Assessors, 1 seat for a 2-year term to fill a vacancy. Board of Assessors, 1 seat, a 1-year term to fill a vacancy. School Committee, 2 seats, 3-year terms. School Committee, 1 seat, 1-year term to fill a vacancy. Water Commissioner, 1 seat, 3-year term. Water Commissioner, 1 seat, 2-year term to fill a vacancy. Board of Health, 1 seat, 3-year term. Cemetery Commissioner, 1 seat, 3-year term. Library Trustees, 2 seats, 3-year terms. Planning Board, 1 seat, 5-year term. Planning Board, 1 seat, 4-year term to fill a vacancy. Housing Authority, 1 seat, 5-year term. Southern Worcester County Regional Vocational School District, otherwise known as BayPath, a 1 seat, 3-year term. We strongly encourage anyone interested in serving to become familiar with the work and responsibilities of these boards, committees, and commissions. Nomination papers are available from the town clerk's office.
Thank you, Ralph. The Board of Health and Town Clerk are issuing a combined mailing of the annual census, recycling center information, and dog license renewals to reduce costs for taxpayers. Materials will be mailed at the beginning of the year, and while multiple forms may be returned together, Board of Health fees and dog license payments must be submitted separately with recycling center stickers for multifamily properties purchased in person.
Reminder, there will be an informational session on the new water and sewer billing process, which will begin on February 2026. The session will take place on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the North Brookfield Elementary School Auditorium and will include a presentation and question and answer period for water and sewer users. Actually, I'd like to make another announcement too, if that's all right.
Sure.
That one I'm gonna try and get a code red call out for.
Okay.
We got a new code red system and I can't figure it out.
Seeing as Nancy already left, I'm gonna throw one more out there. Regarding the first night celebration in town, tomorrow. From noon to 2, there will be tours of the wastewater treatment plant offered. From 2 to 4, there will be an art show at the First Congregational Church, folk music, snacks, and the Episcopal Church will offer a crèche?
Crash.
Creche?
Crash.
Creche, all right, that means something. Display and meditation. Pizza, games, and snack. There will be tours of the townhouse. What is creche, by the way? What is?
The nativity.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Learn something new
Learn
every
something
day.
new. Yep. The library will have local authors with snacks and games. Harold Estates is hoping to have a poetry slam with games and music. The senior center will have the band Ravenwood with hot chocolate. The historical museum will be open and more from 4 to 7. There, I will be having a bonfire at the Common with music by DJ Tabby LeBlanc, with Long Branch Hot Dogs, Jars Cafe, with ciders and cookies in the playground for the children.
And the town offices will be open for, if anyone wants to come and visit us and see what we do.
So come on down.
Thank you, Jamie. Right. Are we doing that in an executive session? It says reason number 1.
You're the chair and asked me to put it on the agenda, so
Yeah, I don't
know.
remember, so I guess not.
That was easy.
That was easy. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. All in favor?
All right.
Thank you, everybody, and have a good night and a happy new year.
So you want to